everyone, today I'm going to make a movie review about A Wrinkle in Time. A Wrinkle in Time is a 2018 sci-fi slash fantasy movie directed by Ava DuVernay and produced by Jim Whittaker. The lead roles are portrayed by Storm Reid as Meg Murray, Oprah Winfrey as Mrs. Witch, Reese Witherspoon as Mrs. What's It, Mindy Kaling as Mrs. Who, Chris Pine as Meg's father, which is Dr. Murray, Gugu Mbatra as Meg's mother, which is also a doctor, Mrs. Murray, Derek McCabe as Charles Wallace, Levi Miller as Calvin O'Keefe, which is Meg's friend in the movie, which accompanies her on their travels on the movie. And that's pretty much the intro. Let's get to it. So, what is A Wrinkle in Time? Who is A Wrinkle in Time? Why is A Wrinkle in Time? How? What? That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, what is A Wrinkle in Time in a nutshell or in a summary? In a summary, it is all about a young teenager searching for a missing father, which is a NASA scientist. NASA, whatever. A NASA scientist which is on a verge of a massive breakthrough, which suddenly has gone missing, which has gone missing, missing in space. In space, of course. He's a NASA scientist. And he is accompanied by her brother, Charles Wallace, which I think, spoilers alert, I think Charles Wallace is her stepbrother. Based on the movie, on what I have observed in the movie, Charles Wallace might have been her stepbrother or adopted brother. I don't know. So she is also accompanied by her friend Calvin O'Keefe, or we can call him Calvin so we don't get too redundant. And of course, the three interstellar beings known as who are those three interstellar beings are Mrs. Witch, Mrs. What's It, and Mrs. Who. Three W's, three women. What's It, Who, and Witch. They are quite quirky. Okay. So let's go on with who. So that's it in a nutshell. They go on a quest to find Meg's father, which is missing in space. Or let's just get to it. I'm gonna narrate the movie so you can understand better. I'm starting to ramble on, and we might just get into the movie, and I shall explain it in detail. Our movie begins as we see through Meg's past, the protagonist's past, Past. We can see her bonding with her family, Mrs. and Mr. Murray, and their mutual love for science, and paper origami, or the Japanese folding technique. We can clearly see that Meg really loves her mother and father. And in this portion of the movie, the very first moments, we can hear Dr. Alexis Murphy's quotation, "Love is always there even if you don't feel it." And then, after the few moments of the intro, we can see that there's a time skip or a fast forward to the present where where a stormy night where it is a stormy night. It takes place on Meg waking up to her bed, hearing a radio chatter about her father missing 4 years ago. And we can see another major character, Charles Wallace, which I observed, which I deducted that she is her adopted brother or step brother based on the conversations I have read on the different characters dialogues on the earlier scenes in the movie. And then we go forward to the school scene. To the school scene. Let's get to it. Then we go over to the school scene where we see Charles Wallace and Meg go to school, of course. The scene begins as Charles Wallace overhears a conversation and decides to eavesdrop on the head teacher talking about their father, which have gone missing 4 years ago, which is also a scientist. I'm making it a joke at this point. Anyway, we see Meg being confronted by a group of bullies. Then the group of bullies, which are all female, the leader's name is not Meg, it's Veronica. Veronica makes a threatening that makes a threatening remark to Meg about her father, and scene flash the scene is seen to be taken on a school playground. They are playing with balls. I think it's a basketball game. It's a basketball court. Then both of them gets in trouble as Charles Wallace is seen interfering with the conversations of other people with her sister and the head teachers. And unfortunately, Meg decides to throw a ball at Veronica. The, the leader of the bullies on the court, the girls, the females, and they get in trouble. And then we head over to the office of Principal James Jenkins, and we see Meg's mother, Dr. Murray, another doctor. This family is run by doctor. They got lectured on, of course. It's a mistake. Which Meg's mother instructed her to apologize to Veronica. And there has been some small talk, and we go over and that's pretty much the school scene. Then we head over to the home scene, which things get pretty interesting at this point. Then we go over to the house scene where the Murray family goes home, and we see Charles Wallace talking to a strange lady, which is named Mrs. What's It. Then the rest of the family confronts her and talks to her. Naturally, Meg's mother, Mrs. Murray, is, of course, she's scared of a stranger suddenly appearing inside their house. After a few exchange of dialogue, Mrs. What's It decided to leave a shocking revelation to Meg herself. She said that these rocks are real. Then she suddenly disappeared, leaving the Murray family dumbfounded. And then the next day, the Murray siblings decided to take a walk along the neighborhood. And as observed, Charles Wallace is really friendly to strangers, as observed earlier in the scene with Mrs. What's It. Imagine talking to a stranger that suddenly appeared inside your house. I guess that's a natural thing for children to be friendly with strangers as they are quite curious. And this family, the Murray family, is not the most normal family you can find. I mean, her Meg's father is a NASA scientist. Her mother is another doctor, and Meg herself is shown to have a gift relating to science. And Charles Wallace himself is, I think, that he has his own quirks, especially with other people. He's quite sociable compared to Meg. And then, during the walk, they encounter Calvin, Meg's friend, which is shown earlier on the school scene, but didn't get much dialogue at all. And the party, which is composed of Charles, Wallace, Meg, and Calvin, decided to go to Mrs. Who, another one of the three stellar women, three W's, three women, three houses, and they had another conversation about the fateful encounter with Mrs. What's it? Now, Mrs. Who speaks in an odd manner, just like me. I speak really odd in English mediums. I'm not that I'm not that fluent in English, but make speaking English makes my voice really awkward. Anyway, Mrs. Who speaks in really odd manners. She speaks in quotes from other people around the world, from Gandhi through Abraham Lincoln to Emperor Hirohito from the no, not really. From famous persons around the world like Mahatma Gandhi and other famous writers like Shakespeare. She speaks she speaks to the party. Then after that, after a brief exchange, she slept. She took a nap. We eventually see her on the movie. And after that, they had gone home, and the party had gone home and decided to have a dinner. And on the dinner, we see the family of the Murray family and the O'Keefe family. And we can see the Meg's friend Calvin had an inferiority complex to her father, which as observed is to be an achiever, which Calvin tries also to be. Kinda relatable. Anyway, yes, Calvin has a inferiority complex compared to his dad, which is a achiever, and the while the Murray family talks about her father, and another flashback where Dr. Murray, the Meg's father, Dr. Alex Murray, uh, on the flashback is shown to have seen his massive breakthrough 4 years ago, and he is a NASA scientist. Okay, next scene. The next scene is a major part of the story. It's where that it it all starts when Charles Wallace runs to the backyard of the Murray residence where they see the three W's, the three Mrs. the the three Mrs. W's. In this scene, we finally see Mrs. Witch and the other two Mrs. What's it and Mrs. Who, and they speak to Meg of that they were invited to that very specific place, their backyard, to by her father, Dr. Alex Murray. and they request, ask, they ask Meg if she wanted to find her father, and the Guardians of Light themselves. I'm gonna call them three Mrs. W's the Guardians of Light from now on. The Guardians of Light decided to ask Meg if she wanted to find her father, and she said yes. And to find her father, they must test her. To test her, have the you must find the right frequency to start the process of tessering, to tesser into another plane of existence. And then we go over to, and the party decided to tesser into another planet, which we will go over on the next scene. Now, the next scene is on the planet Uriel, a lush green planet filled with green grassy mountains, really large towers and pillars, and a very pristine lake, like really clear lake, which is a really beautiful planet. Eventually, the party and the guardians explore the planet and they see sentient flowers, talking flowers. However, the protagonist Meg can't understand them. However, Mrs. What's It understands the flowers' language and converses with them. And the flowers somehow have a lead to where Meg's father is. And Mrs. What's It turns into a leaf creature, like a leaf dragon. Kind of beautiful and kind of terrifying, but it's interesting. Interesting yet weird. It's it's a movie in a nutshell. Anyway, they ride Mrs. What's It in her leaf dragon form and fly so high in the sky that Calvin on the process gets blown by the wind and fell and has fallen from Mrs. What's It's back. And the sentient flowers catches him. After and during their flight and fight situation on Mrs. What's It's back, Meg and the party sees Kamahots, the home of the it, the IT, information technology. No, the it, which is a dark entity, which is the culmination of all evil things in the universe. And after losing their lead on Meg's father, they decided to consult one of the seers. And then we go over to that on the next scene. The next scene is seen to be on the planet Orion, a rocky landscape which is quite the reverse of what Uriel is. It's a very rocky landscape where it is like a desert-like planet, just like in the movie Star Wars, but more rocks, less sand. Then, as the party moves on and the Guardians of Light goes to the home of the Happy Medium, which is the seer of the planet Orion. Meg is shown to have been affected by the sudden events, and the whole adventure itself. So Mrs. Witch decided to give her a pep talk about the the various aspects, the various variables that they have taken place from the start, from the beginning of the universe up to the point where they have met Meg. To explain it in full to explain it, it's like imagine in the beginning of the universe, from your very first ancestors, imagine all the things. I mean, all the things from generations to generations, from millenniums to thousands of age of human evolution, of the human race itself, thousands, millions of years of human existence have happened for us to be here, for me to be here. There may have been another reality that I have been a woman, that I have been dead, that I have been a millionaire, that I have made the movie itself, that I have been the president of the Philippines, that I am a dog, I am a cat, I am a fish, I am a rock. Wait, what's that? No. An Olympian, a gold medalist, a dentist, a menace, a criminal, a judge. Anyway, the possibilities are endless. It's a mind-blowing scene. From a pep talk, it has provoked my thoughts to think that I should appreciate of what I have today, because there are lots of opportunities and choices that have been made for this moment for to be what I am, to be where I am, to be what I am, to be me. Anyway, back to the story. You can see that the Meg and the party and the Guardians of Light entered the rocky house, the balance house. It's a house. It's the habitat of the seer, the happy medium, which is composed of balancing rocks. It's like a weighing. Imagine a weighing scale, but with pointy rocks, and the rocks are placed on the pointy rocks, and it goes like this. And Meg decides to consult the seers with the help of the guardians, the three missuses, to help her locate her father. And then, as the process of meditation method of the happy medium to find Meg's father, with the cooperation of Meg herself, she is placed on one of those balancing rocks, and we see Meg struggling to focus, and Mrs. Witch decides to give Meg a glimpse of what might the it do, what might happen if they will let the it win, the IT or whatever you call it. It's the it, the dark being that can destroy the whole universe and engulf it in complete darkness. It's like the culmination of all evil things in the universe that can kill, destroy, demolish anything that on it that we hold dear. Okay, on the next topic, we go over to the happy mediums process, meditation technique. Through the happy mediums help, Meg discovers in the meditation method that she saw in the past that the right frequency to test her is love. It was discovered by her father, Dr. Alex Murray, which is a NASA scientist that disappeared 4 years ago. Okay, I'll stop with that terrible joke. Is it? But wait, jokes are funny, and that's not funny. Yeah. Anyway, the right frequency is love, and the she also discovers that Dr. Alex Murray tethered from Uriel to, to another planet, to other two planets which the party did not even have explored, then have gone to Kamagots. It's where the it lives. It's where the culmination of all evil things in the universe gathers. And as the party and the Guardians of Light discover the full revelation that Meg's father is in Kamagots, they decided to test her back into Earth to make a plan. However, Meg decided to interfere with the tessering, and by a twist of fate, they tessered into Kamagots. Kamagots itself, much to their fear, to the Guardians of Light are starting to fade away. Now, as the Guardians of Light explained, they cannot help Meg and the party on Kamahots as they have no to little power on the place. So they decided to separate from the party. Now, before leaving, they decided to leave the gifts. Now Mrs. Who gave her wisdom. Mrs. What's It gave her faults. And now Mrs. Witch gave a command and a few words of wisdom to the party. Then the Guardians of Light faded away like Thanos' snap from the Avengers Endgame. They disappeared like sand. Now, after disappearing, the group encounters bunch of whispers. And then we go over in full detail of what happened on the next explanation of the scenes. Then, on the Kamahots, the journey in Kamagots, I don't know what to call it at this point. Anyway, let's go. After the Guardians of Light disappeared, they hear whispers, many whispers, like dark beings whispering them to go to run into the wall. Then suddenly, through a forest grew out of the ground. Really weird and really creepy forest. Then suddenly, as the party walks, they notice that Charles Wallace had gone missing, and the only people left on the party is Calvin and Meg. And then an avalanche suddenly appeared. Yeah, the planet is really weird and really terrifying. Then they run as fast as they can through the forest onto the wall, the onto the giant wall that the whispers are trying to tell them to run to. And the avalanche turned into a tempest, a combination of a tornado and a thunderstorm. And during to their fight or flight situation, on the to their it is the party needs to act fast or else they will be massacred by the tempest. So Meg thought of a plan in the heat of the moment to use the tempest to their advantage. Her instinct and wit proved useful as they used a a piece of log, a hollow log. Meg and Calvin entered the log and let the tempest make it fly through the wall, and it succeeded. Although they sustained little injuries, the plan succeeded and they had gone over to the wall and saw a suburban place filled with of course, a place with filled with houses, a suburban neighborhood like you see on those American streets. It's like a random street on the United States of America. And they saw Charles Wallace there, and the party is complete once again. On the suburban area, they saw many kids playing with big red balls, bouncing them on different different places yet on the same rhythm. And it makes a really terrible sound that the party does not like. And then suddenly each household with the kids produced each each house produced a single entity motherly figure. Uh each house produced a mother entity or a woman. Each house produced a woman which called the children back to their homes as they will have dinner. One of the women invited the party to come and join them for dinner. However, Meg declined as she sees this as a trap. Of course, do not take word of advice. Do not trust strangers so easily, especially you, Charles Wallace. Especially on this next scene, Charles Wallace. We go over to the next scene where the party left the suburban area and goes into a beach. Why a sandy beach of all things? Anyway, to the beach. Now we go over to the beach scene. We see a crowded beach and the party goes through the crowded beach. It's like a beach on a summer break without COVID-19 because it's so crowded that the whole beach itself is filled with people and food and their picnic baskets and stuff. And we see another character named Bread, which tricked the party with by bribing them with food and words of deceit and betrayal and revenge. And they discover that the food Red is giving them is all sand. Yes, all the food is sand. I hate I hate sand. It gets it's coarse, it's dirty, it's many, and it gets all over your stuff, especially on your shorts. Anyway, the character Red abducts Charles Wallace and takes him to the Central Intelligence place, which is placed away from the crowded beach. It's another place on the Kamagots where weird things happen. Then we see Red reveal his true form, which is a puppet controlled by strings. Then the strings fell and so do Red, and Charles Wallace suddenly appears, which, as observed, have turned different. His attitude become different. He has become mean. He turned, in other terms, he turned evil. He put uh he put Meg on a spot where he insulted her with different words of discouragement, not encouragement. And Meg just ignored her banter. And suddenly she pulls out Doctor Mrs. Who's Mrs. Who's glasses, the a necklace. She then uses it as a glass to see the invisible things around her. As it was revealed, the necklace was a magical lens to see the invisible things. It's like the item on the different fantasy movies. It's like the legendary lens of truth, which in turn makes you see the truth, the invisible things in your environment. Anyway, by using the lens of truth, I mean the necklace, Meg sees a stairway on the central intelligence background, and she uses it to travel the landscape. And then she saw a very colorful tunnel. And then we will go over to that and then on that scene, which is another major scene on the movie. After exploring the invisible landscape, Meg goes into a colorful tunnel where she finally sees her father, which has been missing for 4 years and an assassin. Okay, I'll stop. I'll stop. Okay, okay. She finally reunites with her father and have an emotional moment with her as they have finally reunited after all those years. When they decided to return to the party with evil Charles and Calvin, Charles Wallace decided to evil Charles decided to tesser them into the it. However, Meg's father decided to tesser against evil Charles tesser to save Meg. However, Meg loses consciousness and evil Charles tessers them to the it itself, the IT, the information, the information technology. And then we see the the confrontation with the it itself, which I will explain in detail as the climax begins. Begins. And now we go to the climax. The final count, the showdown. The final showdown with the it. Terrible jokes. I know. I should stop. Anyway, Meg finally confronts the it, which looks like neurons in her brain. It, the whole landscape are like black twigs and giant branches that surrounds the whole environment. And on the showdown with the it somehow controls Charles Wallace, or what we call now evil Charles, and fights with Meg. However, Meg is showing resistance against the it, even when she was overpowered by the it. She turns the tables with the it by using what Mrs. Gives by using What's its what's its gift of faults. She turns the tables with the it and weakens the it, and Charles Wallace somehow returned to her to his normal self, and thus by the power of friendship, Meg weakens the it and she wins. That's right, the it does not is not completely obliterated, or it is not erased from existence. It still exists, it is still present, yet weakened. But it's like the concept of sin. If we are go into full detail, the it is like sin. It may be cleansed, it may be forgiven, but it is still present. Anyway, after Meg's victory, the Guardians of Light, the three Mrs. Mrs. Witch, Mrs. Who, and Mrs. What's It appears in Kamagots, appears in the front of Meg and the party itself, and when the when after Meg's victory against it, they congratulate her for being one of the Earth's greatest warriors of light. And the party then returns back to Earth. And then we go to the epilogue, to the ending of the movie. Let's go. After Meg's victory against the It, they tested back into Earth. She was surrounded by a bright, warm light before tethering back into Earth with her family and her friend Charles. Oh, Calvin. She was tethered back into Earth with her father finally after 4 years. And did I mention her father is a scientist? Okay, yeah, I'll stop. Okay. They tethered back into Earth and they were finally reunited again as a family. After unloading some emotional baggages and making some resolutions and realizations, they stood on their newfound hope, and every character, every major character we see had their own sweet, happy ending. The Murray family is once again completed. Charles Wallace is still there. The Guardians of Light, Mrs. Whatsit, and the whole caboodle watches over them. Calvin finally is recognized by her father, by his father, and that's pretty much the story of A Wrinkle in Time. A long journey to find her father. Meg's father is finally fulfilled, and that's it. That's the end of the movie. Now I will give my thoughts about the movie and some praise and criticism. Let's get to it. Now we go over for some criticism, positive and negative. I don't know it if it will be constructive at all. I'll try my best. First, we go on to the positive remarks. I mean negative first. The negatives first. First of all, Charles Wallace. 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 For me, Charles Wallace, you could have just called him Charles or CW for just it's too repetitive. Mentioning the name Charles Wallace is too repetitive. It's kind of irritating for me personally. But as you can see, it got stuck with me in the end. But it's kind of redundant. You could have just called him Charles or Wallace or CW or Wall, whatever you want. You just it's just too much. Minor inconveniences aside, his his name is not that bad. It's just a personal mistakes. Now another criticism I have, negative criticism, is the climax. It was too plain. For me, it was too plain. It's just like it's too cliche. Just like in the other movies, I will defeat the great evil with the power of friendship. Power of friendship. Too cliche for me personally. Another personal, but other people does not like the power of friendship too much. It's just like the scenes in other mainstream media where the protagonist gets beaten up, he gets into despair, he gets beaten up to the point where he or she will die in one more hit. But then the whispers of his friends, the hope, the the tears and everything, the voice of his dead mother or dead relative, and then he goes on a amazing flashback to his training days, to his or her training days, to her childhood, to the dying breath, to the last words of his precious friend, and then he suddenly, oh my God, he suddenly gets the strength of 1,000 lions or men, and then takes a strike on the villain, then instantly defeats him. I don't like that trope too much. It's like although in some medias it can be utilized to be good, but in this case it's too much oversaturated and the climax was not, in my opinion, not that good. It's like for a movie, the build up with the it is not that great as a villain. So defeating him was meh. It was too plain. And the it as a villain, it's terrible. Charles Wallace as a villain is not that great also. And my most biggest complaint about the movie itself and some others too, why in fact the movie was low, it was not widely accepted as other movies. It was rated low in terms of ratings from the IMDb. It got 4.2 out of 10 from international reviews from around the world, from the mainstream ratings. Understandable because A Wrinkle in Time was I think it was supposed to target young children, young teens or children, and probably no. It it have it uses uh, it it uses some concepts that some young audiences might not understand at all. Some scenes that will not make sense if children were to digest the movie. In personal criticisms, yes, it's kind of for more for adults and with those more capable of understanding or digesting the whole movie, you can understand some hidden concepts and lessons or moral and social commentary of A Wrinkle in Time. However, if indeed the target audience is for the younger ones, then it has the movie that get its did not do justice for the children. For it is, I think, too advanced for some children, the vocabularies and however for nerds and to those who understand English, the concept of uh to those who have advanced what do you call that, advanced vocabularies, they will understand more. Now, the negative remarks aside, we go on to the positives. The sceneries, the visuals, it was amazing. The effects were great. The story was quite linear, however, but the scenes are quite good. The visuals, especially on the planet Uriel. I love grassy green places and basically the outdoors. So the planet Uriel, the green grassy planet, was good for me. Especially that lake. I want to take a vacation on that lake. I want to swim there because it's so pristine, unlike the waters we see here in our country. Although we have some clear and beautiful aquatic tourist spots here. Anyway, the movie was quite thought provoking for me. I get some thoughts from it. It to some people, you will get some thoughts from it. The concepts behind the story of A Wrinkle in Time can vary from person to person. It is quite it makes you reflect on the concepts given to you by the movie. It is it's good. I think I made some reflections upon my personal reflections and for myself and for my family too. It revolves around, of course, the concept of love, family, family, and friendship, especially basically love. The concept of the whole movie is love. Love for family, love for friends, love for your acquaintances, love for everyone, love for everything. And another thing, the cast is has diversity. It has many different types of cast, even young children to celebrities, young as Charles himself to mature renowned actresses like Oprah herself, Oprah Winfrey, and her besties. Mrs. The three Mrs. are great. Um, the side characters are pretty much disposable, yet they they did their role. They did their role. The story was pretty much linear from point A to point B. The teaser from this to that. It was the story overall is it was mm, for me stands on a neutral rating. For me, out of 10, I would rate the movie 6.5 out of 10. I have my standards, although it felt that the story has its missing point. However, it did deliver some messages, but for younger audiences, it has its complexities. But I understand it. But to the wholeness of the movie, I did not comprehend it all. And that is all for my movie review of A Wrinkle in Time. If you got any complaints for my criticisms, please message me at my Facebook or Messenger or Zeus Tristan Pantoja. Or if you have any complaints about my YouTube channel, take uh take your complaints to the comment sections. Anyway, that will be all for today, and be a good person. Goodbye.